My name is Jose Orlando Convita. I am from Colombia. I am biologist and I work in acarology. Well, acarology is the study of mites and ticks. And Ohio State University is one of the largest research centers in mites and ticks around the world. I have been working with mites for about 11 years. My PhD research is aimed at clarifying the evolutionary relationships among mites. But why is this research so important? Most people think that mites are nasty insects that bite you. They live in your pillows and mattresses. So why don't we just figure out a way to kill all of them? Well, it turns that mites are a group of animals that have successfully adapted to almost all environments on Earth. They live in water up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. They live in caves, snow, deep seas, rivers, deserts, or deep soil. They can survive in hot and cold climates. Some are free-living and some others are parasites or may interact with other animals. One mite species lives in the trachea of bees. Others use hummingbirds, beetles, or other animals as transportation. Others feed on plants or blood. Others live in humans, like scabies or face mites, which are in humans helping to clean our faces. These animals are important because some can cause diseases, some are pests, but some others are important controlling pests. What few people know is that most of mite species play an important role on Earth in the cycling decomposition process. There are over 1 million of species estimated, and if you take a sample of your backyard, you can easily get 100,000 mites that live very close to you. But because most of mites are microscopic, they have been really unnoticed. I work in a natural history museum describing species and looking for evolutionary relationships by using mites morphology, ecology, and DNA features. The funny part of this is that when I was a child, I was really scared about bugs. From my childhood, I dreamed to be an explorer, just like Indiana Jones. I traveled a lot by hitchhiking, and I always loved to be in nature, walking a lot, watching trees, birds, admiring beautiful landscapes, and meeting local people. However, I was afraid of any kind of bugs when I was outdoors. Even a tiny beetle made me lose my mind. My first memory about this fear was when I was a child, about 6 or 7 years old. I remember to be watching May beetles. May beetle is a kind of beetle that used to come out by bunch in May, in any park or grass field. At that time, many children used to be cruel with those animals, and they used to catch those beetles, eat them, or even put them in bags. I believe that these events developed in me a fear or phobia for bugs. However, 15 years ago, an amazing trip changed my mind and my life. I was in the second year of the undergraduate program in chemical engineering in the National University of Colombia, when a friend of my school who studied biology asked me to join her on a field trip. The first night, a friend of hers came to my tent and told me, "Okay, are you ready? We have to go out and collect." I just remained quiet and thought, "Collect? What the hell was he talking about? What can you see at night?" I just wanted to rest because I wanted to walk around early next morning in that region. However, I decided to go out with them. I remember all of the biology students were with butterfly nets, headlamps, rubber boots, hats and backpacks. All of them split up into groups and started to walk. I just had my hiking boots, a bottle of water and a regular lamp. As soon as I joined them, they were silently walking deeper into the forest. The instructor stopped and said, "Here you can easily find a tarantula. You can recognize the nest by the shape of the tunnel." He took a stick and touched the tarantula's nest. As soon as he started, some long legs started to get out of the nest. My eyes were open wide and I looked for a similar reaction in the group. But all of them were really excited as soon as a huge tarantula started to get out of that hole. I felt my legs trembling. The instructor pulled the tarantula out of his nets with his bare hands and started to explain the different kinds of structures in the animal for feeding, for defense, for reproduction. The instructor explained why he could pick this animal up without getting a bit. He also explained why it is so important in the ecosystem, due to the fact that they feed on rats, cockroaches and other ugly animals. He passed the animal around, but I told him oh, no thank you. Later that night, I discovered myself learning as never in my life. In the remaining days, I just lost my fear and started to grab any animal that passes by. When I get back to my city, I realized that my career didn't make me happy. So I took a drastic decision. Some months later, I was studying biology in the same university. My life had a great change, and all of my semester I was traveling to amazing places and learning about life and nature. Then in 2002, my arachnid professor asked me about working with him in a group of arachnids that he wanted to work on. He asked me, why don't you work with mites? Very few people study this in Colombia. As soon as I started to work on it, I discovered how amazing these animals could be. Then in 2006 I came to Columbus to take my first acarology summer camp program. A program in acarology that had been hosted by Ohio State University for more than 60 years. Then I met my current advisor, Hans Klompen, one of the persons who I most admire because of his contributions on acarology and his personality. He works exactly in what I wanted to keep working, evolution and relationships in mites, especially with ecological important mites. In 2006, I asked him if he wanted me to be his master student. He saw me and goes, not really, I have not space. But we remained in contact and I started my master in Colombia. Then in 2010 he told me that he needed to go to Colombia to catch some strange mites and he asked me to join to his field trip. That was for me an incredible opportunity to learn about mites on field. What Professor Klompen didn't know was that he wanted to go to a really dangerous place in my country. People think that Colombia is dangerous because of the drugs. Well, most of the country is really safe. But some places, especially some far away in deep forests, are not. But how can you be in danger with many soldiers around you? However, after that field trip, he told me if I want to do my PhD with him with some ecological important mites. Now I am here carrying out one of my greatest dreams. But the best part is that I am not doing it alone. Now I have my family with my wife, who I met when I transferred into the biology program, and 2 children. I am in Columbus living the very best experience ever, learning in the best place and from the best professor. And by the way, this is my family and my family too. Thank you.